Chapter 71 Revolutionary Army Dragon, Straw Hat Pirates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Locke leave without finishing him off, the sickly-looking guy scrambled over to Remy Alley, *boom, Long came out of nowhere and kicked the scrawny man. Turning to Remy Alley, he said, "Want to join my revolutionary army? There are plenty of people like you out there who could change their lives." Locke's words echoed in Remy's mind. She looked at Long. "Can we even survive?" "Yes." Long replied. They went to the wooden house and found the food Locke had left. Then, Long left the island with Remy and 10 kids. On a pirate ship, Yamato asked Locke, "Why didn't you just kill that sickly guy?" Locke watched the island recede into the distance. "I don't need to. Someone else will take care of it. He is the leader of the Revolutionary Army, after all." "Revolutionary Army? What's that?" Yamato asked, confused. "A force dedicated to overthrowing the world government and taking control," Locke explained. "I never thought I'd run into something like this again. Looks like it's time for war." Locke headed to the cabin, his voice trailing behind him. Transition. A few days later, Dressrosa, in the palace, Doflamingo stood up from his throne, surrounded by his Don Quixote family executives. "Young master." Sugar called out. Doflamingo walked to the window and threw it open. A gust of wind billowed the red curtains, and his pink feather coat fluttered in the breeze. *fufufufufu*. Doflamingo laughed, gazing at the view outside. "This wind feels like a storm, and that storm is coming." Toripole and the others looked at each other, clueless. "Toripole, how many men have we gathered behind the scenes?" Doflamingo asked. "Doffy, we've secretly assembled 30 pirate crews. Adding our surface forces, that makes 32 in total." Toripole replied. "Get ready. A war is coming," Doflamingo said grimly. As Doflamingo spoke, Toripole and the others sprang into action. The forces Locke had secretly built were mobilizing, ready to launch a full-scale assault against the Navy, a war the Navy couldn't ignore. A pirate ship docked on an island. Locke and Yamato stepped ashore. They had arrived in Dressrosa. "System, initiate sign-in at this special location, *ding, ****, congratulations. You received the reward, 500 black-clad troops. Black-clad troops, secret assassins dressed in black, each with a bounty-level strength of around 50 million berries. In other words, the black-clad army has an individual fighting strength of 50 million berries." Locke thought, another 500 cannon fodder, perfect. Now he had a total of 1,000 troops at his disposal. News of Locke's arrival reached Doflamingo immediately, who personally came to greet him. *fufufufufu*. "Didn't expect you to come here yourself." Doflamingo said, grinning. Baby 5, with her long black hair and maid-like attire, stood behind Doflamingo. *, "Is this the guy I always see in the papers?" "He's kind of cute." Baby 5 thought, stealing glances at Locke. Sensing her gaze, Locke's eyes met Baby 5's. She blushed and quickly looked away. "How's the task I gave you coming along?" Locke asked Doflamingo. *fufufufu*. "Over the past 3 years, I've secretly built up 30 pirate crews. Counting my surface forces, that makes 32 in total." Doflamingo said. Locke nodded, impressed. Doflamingo was efficient. He hadn't expected him to gather so many men in such a short time. Doflamingo's reputation was clearly paying off. "In 7 days, I want all of these crews to attack naval strongholds and islands. Make it fast. If they can't win, hit them hard and run. You and your executives should participate as well. Here's a mask for you. It'll change your appearance. Anyone who sees your abilities, eliminate them." Locke pulled a dozen masks from Yamato's pocket dimension and handed them over. Doflamingo took the masks, then glanced at Yamato with a hint of surprise before quickly masking his emotions. Locke gave Doflamingo some more instructions before leaving Dressrosa with Yamato. Watching the pirate ship disappear over the horizon, Doflamingo turned and left with his executives. ready to prepare for the upcoming battle. A pirate ship with a lion's head figurehead, flying a Jolly Roger with a straw hat. Skull, the Thousand Sunny, Luffy sat on the bow, surrounded by multiple Navy warships in front and behind. Smoker and Vice Admiral Gion, Peach Rabbit, were chasing them because Luffy had destroyed a ship transporting celestial dragon slaves and freed everyone on board. The Navy, upon learning of this, dispatched Smoker and Gion to arrest Luffy. Star, cannonballs rained down on the Thousand Sunny. Chopper and Usopp cowered in a safe place. Seeing the incoming barrage, Luffy jumped up, took a deep breath, and yelled, "Rubber balloon!" His stomach expanded into a massive ball, absorbing all the cannonballs and bouncing them back. One sword style, Lion's Song. Zoro instantly slashed several incoming cannonballs, slicing them open in mid-air. Bang. Bang. Bang, star, the cannonballs exploded, and Zoro landed back on the deck. Sanji leaped into the air and kicked several cannonballs away. Bang. Bang. Bang, star, the cannonballs exploded in mid-air. The Straw Hats had deflected the Navy's first attack. Surround them. Smoker ordered the naval soldiers. Soon, the Thousand Sunny was surrounded by several Navy warships. Whoosh, Star, Smoker and Gion jumped onto the Thousand Sunny. The Straw Hats immediately took a defensive stance. As the two powerful Marines appeared, Navy soldiers began to swarm over from the warships. Straw Hat, surrender now and make things easy. Smoker barked. Luffy ignored him, stretching out his right hand and throwing a punch at Smoker. Rubber Pistol. Chapter 72, Seeing Peach Rabbit again and meeting the Straw Hat Pirates for the first time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Rubber Bullet. Luffy blasted forward, right hand coated in armament haki, aiming straight for Smoker, but just as Luffy was about to connect, Momosaji intercepted his blow with the hilt of her sword. Momosaji was nearly as strong as an admiral. She had trained relentlessly for the past 3 years just to face Locke again, determined not to be reduced to a helpless mess like before. Boom. Luffy's fist slammed into Momosaji's hilt, sending out a shockwave. He yanked his hand back, the skin flushed. "Man, that stings!" he exclaimed, blowing on his knuckles. Whoosh. Momosaji flashed in front of Luffy, ready to deliver a punch, but a figure intercepted her. Clang. Zoro's blade clashed against her fist, the sound of metal on metal ringing out. Whoosh. Sanji appeared behind Momosaji, aiming a kick at her back. Diable Jam. Boom. Sanji's foot connected with something rock-hard. Momosaji had coated her back in armament haki. A jolt of pain shot up Sanji's leg. He hopped back, wincing, and stared at her, a frown creasing his brow. "Looks like we're in for a rough one." Three-sword style, Tiger Hunt. Zoro unleashed a wave of compressed air with his swords, but Momosaji casually deflected it with a flick of her hilt. Second gear. Gomu Gomu no Gatling. Luffy's body started to steam as he sped up. He blitzed towards Momosaji, unleashing a rapid barrage of punches like a machine gun. Each strike was infused with haki, but she blocked them with the hilt of her sword, deflecting the blows. Boom. Luffy went flying backward. Momosaji hadn't even drawn her sword yet, showcasing her incredible strength. Even after his grandfather's training, Luffy was still outmatched. Is this really a candidate for the next admiral? Even if she's not one now, she's almost on par with those three monsters. She's a force to be reckoned with. Aside from a select few, there aren't many who can stand against her in the Navy. Smoker watched her, his thoughts racing. Third gear. Gomu Gomu no Giant Pistol. Luffy bit his thumb, inflating his right hand to gigantic proportions and coating it with armament haki. He swung his massive fist at Momosaji. She leaped into the air, drawing her sword and slashing downwards. A wave of energy hurtled towards Luffy, colliding with his giant fist. Boom. Although his fist was infused with haki, it wasn't strong enough. Momosaji's blade ripped through it, drawing blood. Luffy, Zoro and the others cried out, concerned. Two-sword style, Eagle Wave. Zoro unsheathed two swords, unleashing a powerful gust of wind pressure toward Momosaji's back. White blow. Smoker transformed his limbs into smoke and intercepted Zoro's attack. Bang, bang, bang. Puffs of white smoke billowed, obscuring their vision. Navy soldiers opened fire on Luffy and his crew. Bottle dance, chain thrust. Brook unleashed a flurry of thrusts with his cane sword, shattering the incoming bullets. After dealing with the bullets in front of him, Brook moved to Nami's side. Requiem of the Night, straight thrust. Brook stabbed the bullet aimed at Nami, shattering it. Strong right. Frankie launched his right fist, crushing a bullet before retracting it. Once Luffy and the others had dealt with the gunfire, they regrouped. Momosaji drew her sword, Kinpyra, and unleashed a wave of energy with a single slash, sending it barreling towards them. Gomu Gomu no jet bullets. Luffy, steaming from head to toe, rapidly punched the incoming wave of energy with both fists, each coated in armament haki. 3-sword style, 108-pound phoenix, .3 slashes of blue flame shot toward the oncoming wave. Bang, bang, bang. Luffy and the others launched their attacks, but the disparity in strength was too great. Their efforts didn't even scratch Momosaji. She cleaved through them with a single strike, leaving them unable to fight. They simply weren't a match for someone with the strength of an admiral candidate. So strong, Luffy mumbled, his eyelids heavy. Her swordsmanship is insane. Is this the person the Navy's pinning their hopes on as the next admiral? Zoro and Sanji groaned from the ground, their bodies were covered in cuts, their clothes stained red with blood. Just as Momosaji was about to finish them off, a Navy soldier ran over. Vice Admiral Momosaji, we've detected a pirate ship approaching, he reported breathlessly. She turned, curious to see who would dare approach with so many Navy warships present. The pirate ship bore a black dragon and skull flag. Locke, standing on deck, took in the scene. Didn't expect to run into them here. Locke spotted the Thousand Sunny, surrounded by the Navy. Is there someone you know on that surrounded pirate ship? Yamato asked. Just my dumb little brother. Locke replied with a smile. Aboard the Thousand Sunny, Momosaji stared at the approaching pirate ship, her pupils shrinking, her body trembling. It's him. He's back. I never thought he'd show up here after disappearing for 3 years, she said, her voice a mix of excitement and anger. Smoker, noticing Momosaji's reaction, also turned to look. When he saw the ship's flag, his eyes widened in shock. He's back, Smoker exclaimed. Fire fist. Locke punched the naval warship in front of him, his flaming fist instantly engulfing it in flames and a deafening roar. Boom. Several warships burst into flames, their crews consumed before they could react. That bastard. Momosaji snarled, her face contorted with rage. The surrounding Navy soldiers watched in disbelief, their faces hardening with anger. The pirate ship drew alongside the Thousand Sunny, and a man stepped onto the deck. He wore a cloak, a sword hanging at his waist, the fabric billowing in the wind with each step he took. As everyone recognized his face, their eyes widened, especially the Navy soldiers. Fear flickered in their eyes. The man who had dominated them 3 years ago had returned, and the terror that had faded was now back to haunt them. Locke stopped before Momosaji and the others. He glanced at the fallen straw hats, then met Momosaji's furious gaze. Long time no see. Chapter 73 Peach Rabbit's Heart, Let Go of Each Other's Identities. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Long time no see, Locke said, looking at Peach Rabbit, *swoosh, *a sharp knife was her reply. Peach Rabbit, her blade crackling with armament haki, slashed at Locke, *clang, Locke's right hand, also coated in armament haki, snapped the knife blade between his index and middle fingers. Peach Rabbit couldn't budge it, they locked eyes. Peach Rabbit's gaze at Locke was complicated. She'd never forgotten what Locke had said to her and Tina when they'd first met. For the past 3 years, they'd been training and traveling. It was on those journeys that she'd realized the world wasn't as pretty as she'd imagined, especially in war-torn countries. And the way the world government turned a blind eye to the horrors inflicted on ordinary people to appease the celestial dragons. She'd done her research. Boom. A bullet whizzed past, aimed for Locke's head. It passed right through, because Locke's head instantly burst into flames, and the bullet slammed into the ship's railing. Locke glanced at the marine who'd fired the shot, and his eyes flashed red. Boom. An invisible force slammed into everyone on deck. The marine soldiers' eyes rolled back, and they crumpled to the ground one by one. The Straw Hats were staggering, eyes wide in shock. Is that the guy who shook up the world 3 years ago? That power is insane, Chopper and Usopp exclaimed, eyes glued to Locke, Peach Rabbit, Smoker, and the Straw Hats were the only ones left standing, struggling to breathe through the suffocating pressure, sweat pouring down their faces. Yamato, get the Straw Hats below deck. Deal with the Navy over there, Locke told Yamato, who was standing nearby. Yamato glanced at the Straw Hats, then turned to Smoker. Thunder Bagua, Yamato's club, crackling with armament haki, slammed into Smoker with tremendous force. Smoker tried to turn into smoke to evade, but boom, he went flying, crashing onto another Navy ship in an instant. Yamato turned toward the Straw Hats. You guys. Below deck, now, Yamato commanded, looking at Luffy and the others. Zoro and the others eyed Yamato warily, remembering the power of that Thunder Bagua. Luffy glanced at Locke, then grinned. Zoro, relax. Let's go below deck and leave this to him. Luffy walked towards the cabin, the rest of the Straw Hats following closely behind. What do you think you're doing? Peach Rabbit, seeing Locke ordering Yamato around, demanded. You'll see, Locke said. Locke reached out and grabbed Peach Rabbit's chin. Peach Rabbit angrily slapped his hand away, creating some distance between them. Let's see if you've actually gotten any stronger in the last 3 years, Locke said as Peach Rabbit backed away. Whoosh, Locke blurred, appearing in front of Peach Rabbit and slamming a punch towards her stomach. Peach Rabbit immediately coated herself in armament haki, meeting Locke's fist head-on with her own. Boom. The force of the impact cracked the ship's deck. Locke's eyes narrowed, and he put more force behind his punch. Boom. Peach Rabbit stumbled backward, her hands shaking. She stared at Locke, frustrated. Is this it? I've been working so hard for 3 years. How can I still be so weak? Peach Rabbit said, bitter. Whoosh, Locke appeared to her right. You have been working hard, he said, but you're fighting me. Smack, Locke patted her butt. Peach Rabbit froze, shocked, her face flushed crimson, and she glared at Locke. She raised her hand to slap him. Locke caught her wrist, then wrapped an arm around her waist. They were so close she could feel his breath. Peach Rabbit struggled, face burning. Locke tightened his grip. The more she struggled, the tighter he held her. You bastard. Let me go, Peach Rabbit spat out, enraged. Locke looked into her eyes, then slowly lowered his head. His lips met hers. Peach Rabbit's eyes widened, and she pounded on his chest. Finally, her hands fell limp, and her eyes began to glaze over. Locke deepened the kiss, and Peach Rabbit gradually melted into his embrace. A gust of wind swept across the deck, carrying their hair and cloaks as they kissed. 3 minutes passed, an eternity for both of them. Peach Rabbit's arms had wrapped around Locke's neck, while one of his hands held her waist and the other cradled the back of her head. They kissed, lost in each other. Peach Rabbit's face was burning, her eyes clouded. Her heart was a mess of conflicting emotions, confusion, joy, and everything in between. 5 minutes, time slipped away until they finally broke apart, breathless, their lips parted, and their eyes met. Huff, huff, Peach Rabbit panted, her face flushed, her eyes fixed on Locke as if afraid he would disappear. Why are you a pirate? Peach Rabbit buried her face in his chest, her fists softly striking him. Tears soaked Locke's shirt. He stroked the back of her head. The world is about to change, he said. It's going to be beautiful. The darkness and filth of this world will be gone before the new world arrives. Locke stared out at the ocean, his gaze resolute, as he continued to gently stroke Peach Rabbit's head. Peach Rabbit clung to him, savoring his warmth, the beat of his heart. She didn't understand why she felt this way. He was her enemy, but her heart felt something special for Locke. They stood there in silence, embracing. Peach Rabbit wasn't thinking about being a marine anymore. She was just an ordinary woman, wanting to stay like this forever, the breeze whispered around them. At that moment, they were just lovers, putting aside their roles and identities. They were just Locke and Peach Rabbit. Pirates, Happy National Day, everyone. Chapter 74 Luffy and Locke, Banquet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Peach Rabbit gave Locke a passionate kiss before she left. Locke turned back to the cabin. Everyone except Luffy was on edge, staring at Yamato like she was a major threat. Yamato sat down, placing her mace beside her. A tense silence hung in the air. Footsteps approached, and Locke appeared. Zoro and the others immediately tensed, ready to fight. Locke just stood there, radiating a powerful aura that felt like a mountain pressing down on them. They were panting, sweat beading on their foreheads, overwhelmed just by his presence. It wasn't that they were weak, Locke was just that much stronger. Nami, however, seemed unaffected. She saw Locke and called out happily, "Locke," her voice broke the tension. Locke looked over. Nami, that he hadn't expected to see her on Luffy's ship. Nami ran up to him, looking up as she said, "Mom and I miss you so much. The day you left, we both started learning how to sail so we could help you someday." Locke listened. Even though their skills were useless to him now, they'd done it for him. He looked at her and said, "Thank you." Nami beamed, and the Straw Hat's eyes widened. "You know Nami?" Chopper asked curiously. "Yeah. Locke helped Kokoyashi village a while back. He saved Mom, me, and Nojiko." Nami explained to the Straw Hats. "Nami, why are you on Luffy's ship?" Locke asked. "Luffy and the others came to Kokoyashi village, and we became friends." She replied. "I'm here because of you." "Because of me?" Locke asked, surprised. "Luffy invited me to join, and I agreed, but I had one condition. I mean, I was going to be their crewmate even before I met you. As for seeing you again." Nami didn't finish, realizing she had developed feelings for the crew after the past 2 years. "Okay, I understand," Locke said, gently patting her head. Nami blushed slightly, lowering her head, enjoying the touch. Yamato, standing behind them, saw everything. She felt a pang of sadness seeing Locke treat another woman like that. "What's wrong with me?" Yamato wondered, feeling a complicated mix of emotions. Locke then turned to Luffy and his crew. "Luffy, you finally set sail." Before Luffy could respond, Nami interjected, "Locke, they're my friends." "I know," Locke reassured her, patting her head again. Then, he walked toward Luffy and the others. Zoro, Sanji, and the others eyed Locke warily as he approached. Luffy grinned. "Locke, long time no see." Hearing that their captain knew Locke, Zoro and the others lowered their weapons but remained alert, remembering the impact Locke had made on them. "Did Ace and Sabo set sail?" Locke asked Luffy. "Yep. Ace and Sabo went to sea a year before me, but I asked my grandpa to train me." Luffy's body started steaming, and he vanished in a blur. He reappeared, his fist aimed at Locke's face. Seeing Luffy's fist coated in armament haki, Locke smiled, raising his right hand to catch it. Boom, star. A shockwave erupted around them. Seeing Luffy's sudden attack, Zoro and the others jumped into action. Three-sword style, Purgatory Onigiri. Zoro held 2 swords crossed, using a third to cut off Locke's escape. Flambe shot. Sanji leaped, aiming a powerful kick at Locke's abdomen. Revolutionary dance, assault. Brook dashed forward, unleashing a flurry of sword strikes with his cane sword. Locke simply waved his hand, releasing a burst of flames. Fire wave. The flames engulfed their attacks, instantly incinerating them. Boom, star. Flames erupted, but strangely, the floor remained unscorched. "Zoro, stop. Locke's not the enemy." Luffy shouted. Hearing this, Zoro and the others reluctantly lowered their weapons. Zoro turned to Luffy. "Luffy, why did you attack him just now?" Luffy shrugged. "I was just testing the difference between our strengths." "Don't worry, Locke's not a bad guy." Gorgeous transition. Aboard the Thousand Sunny, a banquet was underway. Luffy and Locke sat on the floor, feasting on meat. Zoro drank wine, and Sanji was fixated on Yamato, hearts in his eyes. Yo ho ho ho. Brook, lost in thought, started playing a melody on his violin. Nami sat close to Locke, her attention solely on him. Chopper and Frankie sat off to the side, curious about the relationship between Locke and Luffy. Usopp was glued to Luffy's side, equally curious. Although they wanted to know, they hesitated to ask. Locke, who had disappeared for 3 years, had suddenly returned, and they were unsure what he was up to. Locke, where have you been for the past 3 years? Luffy asked. Between bites of meat, Locke swallowed and looked at Yamato. I went to Wano country. Wano country. Chopper and Usopp gasped. That's Yonko Kaido's territory. I can't believe you went there after disappearing for 3 years. Nami exclaimed. Kaido's actually pretty cool. He even gave me a few places as gifts. Especially this special gift. Locke grinned, looking at Yamato. Chapter 75 Locke returns and the girls are happy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The banquet with the straw hats and Locke wrapped up on 1,000 Sunny. The next day, Locke emerged from the 1,000 Sunny's cabin, followed by Yamato. Luffy and the others trailed close behind. Locke, you're leaving already? Luffy asked, looking up at him. Yep. Locke confirmed with a nod. He glanced at Nami, who seemed conflicted. She was torn between staying with the straw hats and following Locke, the reason she'd joined the crew in the first place. Now, she didn't want to leave her new friends. Locke understood her struggle, and the straw hats clearly sensed it too, but they respected her decision. You should stay here, Locke told her. These guys are your crew now. We'll run into each other again sometime. Nami was silent for a moment. Then, she walked up to Locke, stood on her tiptoes, and gently kissed his cheek. Blushing, Nami looked up at him. Okay, she said softly. I'll stay. I am their navigator, after all. Hearing Nami's decision, Chopper and the others cheered from behind. Locke and Yamato turned and leaped onto their pirate ship. Both crews waved goodbye. As Locke and Yamato sailed away, Usopp piped up. Luffy, what's your deal with that Locke guy? Usopp's question immediately caught the attention of Zoro and the others, who all stared at Luffy with curious expressions. Luffy watched the rock pirate's ship disappear over the horizon, then grinned. He's my brother. Huh? What? Everyone's jaws dropped. Zoro, Chopper, and the others stared at Luffy, wide-eyed. Luffy, I'm starting to think you've got some kind of secret family tree going on. Usopp exclaimed. Navy hero Garp's your grandpa, Fire Fist Ace is your brother, and now this legendary pirate is also your brother. Who else are we missing? Luffy just smiled, saying nothing. He turned and called out, all right, crew, let's get going. Zoro and the others quickly forgot about Locke. They set sail, eager to continue their adventure. Little did they know, Locke's return would send ripples across the world, changing everything. Yamato glanced at Locke, standing beside her. She wanted to say something, but she wasn't sure how. It was a strange feeling, but when she thought about Locke touching Nami's head and speaking to her so gently, she felt a pang of discomfort. Locke! Yamato called out. Locke turned to her. What's up? Yamato looked at him with complicated eyes, her face slightly flushed. Do you know that woman, Nami? Yeah, what about it? Locke replied. Yamato's face grew even redder. She hesitated, then finally managed to squeak out, nothing, just asking. Her voice faded to a whisper, and she lowered her head, lost in thought. Locke shrugged it off and headed into the cabin. He needed to prepare. Doflamingo was going to make his move in 7 days. Watching Locke's back, Yamato thought to herself, I don't know what this feeling is, but my heart tells me that if you treat other women well, it will hurt. I just want to be the only one who sees your tenderness. Naval Headquarters. Peach Rabbit's mood had been noticeably brighter since her return. She seemed as cheerful as a schoolgirl. Lieutenant General Peach Rabbit, did something good happen? Tina asked, noticing her colleague's unusual demeanor. Peach Rabbit turned to Tina and chuckled. Something did happen, but it was just a little thing, nothing special. Tina remained unconvinced. Her gut told her there was more to the story, but she didn't press the issue. The two women walked in silence to the door of the Fleet Admiral's office. Knock, knock, knock. Come in. Sengoku's voice boomed from within. Peach Rabbit and Tina opened the door and entered. Sengoku looked up at them. Peach Rabbit, were the Straw Hat Pirates captured? Reporting to Fleet Admiral Sengoku, they escaped, Peach Rabbit answered. They were rescued. Rescued? Sengoku frowned. Who could possibly rescue them from you? The man who disappeared 3 years ago, Peach Rabbit stated. He's back. He rescued the Straw Hat Pirates and injured Vice Admiral Smoker. What? Sengoku and Tina both exclaimed in shock, especially at the mention of Locke's name. Sengoku's expression turned grim. No wonder someone could get past Peach Rabbit, he thought. The man who disappeared for 3 years has returned. Everyone needs to know about this. Inform the entire Navy that Locke is back and that they should be on high alert. The admirals will need to know as well. Tell them to prepare. I have a feeling his return is a sign that something big is about to go down. After delivering his orders, Peach Rabbit and Tina left the office. Sengoku sat back in his chair, staring at Locke's photo on the table. The world was once again buzzing with the news. Locke was back. Windmill Village, in a tavern, Makino smiled as she read the newspaper. After disappearing for 3 years, I thought something might have happened to you. Now that you're back, things can finally be set right. Kokoyashi Village, in an orange grove, Belmere paused to wipe the sweat from her brow. Setting down her hoe, she glanced at the newspaper lying nearby, her eyes filled with a mixture of envy and admiration. Nami must be with you by now. After disappearing for 3 years, you're back, and it puts my mind at ease. Belmere went back to planting orange trees, the sun casting a warm glow on her back as she worked alone. Alabasta, Vivi looked at the newspaper, her eyes shining with happiness. She turned to Nami. He's back. Nami grinned. Yeah. Fishman Island. Father, Master Locke is back. Shirahoshi exclaimed to Neptune. Neptune looked at the newspaper and nodded. He's back. The seas are going to be rough again. 9 Snake Island, on Ruskana Island, an uninhabited island in the calm belt near 9 Snake Island, 2 beautiful women stood side by side. 3 years of training had significantly improved Robin's strength and enhanced her natural beauty. Boa Hancock stood beside Robin. He's back. Robin smiled. Yes. The man who disappeared for 3 years is back. Now we just have to wait for him to come and get us. I can't wait. Boa Hancock touched her face dreamily. When the time comes, Locke will come to 9 Snake Island to take me as his wife. Robin simply smiled at Boa Hancock's fantasies. Over the past 3 years, they had become close friends, united by their shared affection for Locke. Chapter 76: A Night of Massacre, News that Shocked the World. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Baea, Doflamingo smiled, gazing at the island before him. Just this island. 7 days had passed, and Doflamingo led a large number of pirates to attack a navy base. Cannonballs rained down on the island. The sudden onslaught caught everyone completely off guard. Bang, 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 the port was instantly engulfed in explosions. People were blown away, buildings crumbled. The port echoed with explosions and screams. Pirate ships docked, and armed pirates swarmed ashore. Thwack, thwack. Amidst the chaos, the sound of flesh being torn filled the air. A blood-splattered pirate lunged at a little girl, no older than 5 or 6, the girl stared, wide-eyed with terror, as the bloody blade swung toward her. The sudden attack had paralyzed her with fear. Just as the knife was about to strike, a figure flashed in front of her. Clang! A marine wearing a cloak emblazoned with the word justice blocked the blow. The weapons clashed with a metallic ring, more marines in justice cloaks appeared, and a battle between the navy and the pirates erupted. How did so many pirates suddenly attack us? A navy captain shouted, surveying the chaotic scene. Boom. An explosion rocked the ground beside him, leaving a crater filled with the mangled bodies of several children. He stared at the bodies in the pit, his face contorted with rage. He charged, slashing at a nearby pirate. Thwack! The pirate cried out as the captain's blade pierced his back, sending blood splattering. Boom. The pirate collapsed. More and more marines and pirates poured onto the scene. Doflamingo, masked and disguised as an ordinary bystander, watched the carnage. Even his clothes and shoes were different. He laughed maniacally, then spotted a father and son trying to escape. Parasite string. Doflamingo extended 2 threads into the air, which then shot down like meteorites, embedding themselves into the father and son. He now controlled their bodies. The father and son felt an immediate loss of control. The father picked up rocks from the ground and began to approach his son. "Run! Get away from me!" he screamed, tears streaming down his face. Ming-Kong, Ming-Kong, the little boy, stared at his father in confusion. Suddenly, his own body began to move. He grabbed debris from a destroyed house and advanced toward his father. Both father and son were horrified, realizing they were no longer in control of their own actions. They pleaded, tears blurring their vision. "Leave me, Ming-Kong. Please. Father, I can't control my body. What's happening to me?" That they collided, and each began striking the other with rocks and sticks. Thwack! Blood splattered. The father's heart felt like it was being stabbed. The little boy looked at his hands in anguish. "No. I didn't do this. Stop it. Please." The boy stared at his bloodied hands, his body trembling in horror. He wanted to drop the stick, but his arm rose again. Thwack, thwack. The struggle continued until one of them fell. Finally, the father beat his son to death. Looking at his fallen son, the father's eyes became bloodshot with anguish, but his hands continued to move. He raised the stone again, smashing it down on the boy's head. Thwack, thwack, each blow ripped at his heart. His tears turned to blood, and his face twisted in agony. Only when Doflamingo grew bored did he release the father, allowing him to end his own life. Boom. The father's head, already a bloody mess, crashed to the ground. After all, there was no pain greater than killing one's own son. Doflamingo laughed cruelly, stepping over the corpses. Bang, 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 people continued to die across the island. Pirates cut down civilians and sailors. 5-color string. Doflamingo attacked the marines and children in front of him. Boom. Several sailors and children fell, sliced from behind by unseen wires. They died without understanding who or what had killed them. That's Doflamingo's devil fruit power. He's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. The voice came from behind Doflamingo. It was the Navy captain from before. Doflamingo turned to face him. The captain glared at him. "Doflamingo. Did you do all this?" The captain roared. Congratulations on figuring it out. But you're about to die. Parasite string. Doflamingo seized control of the captain's body, forcing him to advance on the crowd. The captain felt his body betray him and screamed at the marines in front. "Get away from me!" The marines stared back at him. "What's wrong, Captain?" Thwack. The captain's blade slashed across the face of the marine who had spoken. A deep, bloody gash opened up, exposing raw flesh. Blood streamed down his face. Boom. The marine fell. Others shouted, "Captain! What are you doing? He's one of us." Tears streamed down the captain's face. "Get away. I'm being controlled. Doflamingo is doing this." "Doflamingo?" a marine asked, confused. The captain's blade was his answer. He hacked down his own men, forced to watch them die by his own hand. He closed his eyes, unable to bear the sight of his fallen comrades. Their eyes remained open, staring blankly, their faces mutilated by the bloody gash that had cleaved through their flesh. The massacre continued for an entire day. Doflamingo's underlings carried out their orders in other parts of the island. By night, the island was ablaze. The air reeked of burning corpses. Bodies lay scattered across the ground, soaked in blood. People of all ages had perished in the slaughter. Some died in the most horrific ways imaginable, fathers forced to murder their own children. It was a cruel and inhuman tragedy. Chapter 77 Navy's Actions, Robin's Changes. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Bang, 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 Sengoku slammed his desk, his face red with anger. What the hell is going on? He roared. Why are we seeing pirate attacks everywhere today? Garp, and he just sat there, letting Sengoku vent. They knew better than to interrupt until he calmed down. Sengoku took a deep breath, forcing himself to relax. Stay calm, he muttered, stay calm. Seeing Sengoku composed, Garp snuck a rice cracker from behind his back and started munching. The sound was like a match to gunpowder. Sengoku's eyes blazed as he glared at Garp, his mustache practically bristling. Garp swallowed the cracker whole, scratched his head, and said, too late to get mad now, Sengoku. We need to figure out where these pirates are coming from. Garp's right, Crane added. We need to identify the source of these attacks. 30 different pirate groups hitting us at once. We also need to care for the dead and their families, especially the children. Sengoku fell silent. He was beginning to suspect Locke might be involved. Locke had vanished for 3 years, then reappeared to rescue the Straw Hats, and now this? It smelled like Locke's handiwork. Akainu and the others will lead the Navy to hunt down these pirates. Make arrangements for the families of the fallen, too. Bury our heroes on Martyr's Island, and have Tautu and Tina keep a close eye on Locke, but they need to be extra careful this time. Sengoku issued his orders. He left to carry them out personally, while Garp remained, twiddling his thumbs. For the first time in 3 years, the Navy headquarters was on full alert. 3 admirals, backed by a dozen warships, set out to hunt the pirates. Peach Rabbit and Tina, aboard a warship, shadowed Locke. Other ships transported the fallen to Martyr's Island, a small island near the Navy headquarters, the final resting place for those who died in service, a symbol of honor. The news spread like wildfire overnight. Seagulls dropped newspapers across the world. What the heck is going on? Could it be related to him? Probably. This started right after he reappeared after 3 years. The seas were calm for so long. Now, all of a sudden, a bunch of strong pirates are popping up. Similar conversations echoed around the globe, but Doflamingo, the man perhaps most responsible, had separated from his pirate group and was now on a secluded island. Dover, mission accomplished. Toribol said, a string of mucus dangling from his nose. Doflamingo removed his mask, changed back into his flamboyant clothes, and addressed his crew. The job's done. Let's head back to Dressrosa. The Don Quixote family vanished from the island, setting course for home. Locke glanced at the newspaper in his hand, then tossed it aside as Yamato approached. I'm hearing rumors that you're behind all of this. Are you planning an all-out war with the Navy? Yamato asked. Locke met Yamato's gaze. Exactly. I intend to build my own force, maybe even a kingdom. He paused. So, where to next? Yamato said, I'm going to pick up 2 people. It's been 3 years since I have seen them. Locke said with a flash of light in his eyes, a few days later. System, daily sign-in, *ding, *. Congratulations. You have successfully signed in and received the reward, love necklace, 2 pairs. Meanwhile, on the Grand Line, a pirate ship sailed through the calm belt, approaching an island. This was Amazon Lily, also known as Nine Snake Island. Near the windless zone of Nine Snake Island, on Ruscana Island, 2 women were locked in an intense battle, shaking the ground with each blow. Colorful colors and huge trees. Countless slender hands sprung from the earth, coalescing into 2 massive, hockey-covered hands that swatted forward. Perfume femur. A long, snow-white leg, also coated in hockey, smashed into the hands. Boom. A shockwave ripped outwards, leveling the ground around them. Boya Hancock, her face radiating pleasure, stumbled back from the force of the blast. She gently touched her lips, leaving a small, heart-shaped imprint on her finger. Boya Hancock flicked her fingers like bullets, unleashing a barrage of energy attacks. Marvelous multitude, spider's net. Robin summoned countless arms to form a protective spiderweb in front of her, intercepting Hancock's projectiles. Slave arrow. Boya Hancock once more touched her lips and transformed the kiss into a large pink heart, pulling it back like a bow and firing a barrage of pink, heart-shaped arrows. H. Marvelous multitude, giant net. Robin swiftly weaved a wall of interconnected arms to deflect the incoming arrows. Marvelous multitude, phantom wings. From Robin's back sprang a pair of gorgeous wings made of hands, allowing her to soar into the air, but the moment her feet touched the ground, a swift kick struck her face. Perfume femur. Boya Hancock's right leg, reinforced with haki, delivered a devastating kick towards Robin. Reacting instantly, Robin created two more legs, wrapped in haki, to block the attack. Boom. The force of the impact sent a wave of air outwards, whipping at their clothes, hair, and skirts, creating a brief moment of blinding light. Your strength has improved rapidly in the past 3 years, Boya Hancock said, adjusting her clothes. You're nearly on par with me, perhaps even stronger. 3 years had transformed Robin into an even more radiant and alluring woman. She smiled at Boya Hancock. You taught me everything these past 3 years. You're my master now. Whatever. I should help you, though, since you are the third woman to follow Locke. Logically, we should be sisters now. After all, when Locke comes to pick us up, he will be taking a concubine. Boya Hancock shyly touched her face, closing her eyes as she drifted into another fantasy. Hearing Locke's name, Robin gazed out to sea, her eyes filled with longing and admiration. When will you come for me? She murmured softly. Just then, a pirate ship appeared on the horizon, bearing the Black Dragon and Skull flag. Chapter 78 Shura Field, Navy Akainu's Justice. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Locke. Robin's voice trembled as she watched the pirate ship approach. The man she'd been thinking about constantly was finally here. Tears of joy and excitement welled up in her eyes. Hearing Robin call Locke's name, Boya Hancock turned and saw the ship. Her mind raced, imagining Locke sweeping her off her feet with a proposal. As Locke landed on the island, a figure darted towards him. He was immediately enveloped in a familiar fragrance. Looking down, he saw Robin burying her face in his chest. She inhaled his scent, felt his warmth, his heartbeat. Pressing herself against him as tightly as possible, she wished she could simply melt into him. Locke wrapped his arms around her waist and gently stroked her head. They stood like that for a long moment, until Robin remembered Boya Hancock was behind her. She looked up at Locke, her eyes full of adoration. Rising onto her toes, she kissed him. Breaking the kiss, Robin whispered, "You finally came." Locke smiled, touching her head. "Yeah, I'm here to take you home. We're not separating again." He sensed a gaze and saw Boya Hancock watching them, her expression unreadable. Locke stood beside Robin and addressed Hancock. "Long time no see, Hancock." Boya Hancock, who had witnessed the entire scene, was simmering with anger, but she replied coolly, "Long time no see. I guess I'm not so important anymore." Locke knew she was upset. He'd arrived and immediately embraced Robin, completely ignoring her. It was understandable. He stepped forward and pulled Boya Hancock into a hug. The sudden gesture stunned her. Before she could react, Locke kissed her. Boya Hancock's eyes widened, and a blush crept up her face. She lightly pounded his chest, but eventually relaxed into the kiss. When they broke apart, Boya Hancock was breathing heavily, her eyes glazed over. This time, her anger seemed to dissipate. Locke touched her head and said, "Thank you for everything these past 3 years." Boya Hancock lowered her head shyly. It's what I should do." The atmosphere was perfect, until a voice shattered the moment. "Locke, who are they?" Yamato, having disembarked from the ship unnoticed, approached Robin and Hancock. 6 eyes met. Robin and Boya Hancock scrutinized Yamato, who returned their gaze. An indescribable tension filled the air. Was this a lover's quarrel waiting to happen? Horns, white hair, a killer body, though not huge, and a beautiful face, Robin and Boa Hancock catalogued. Yamato's appraisal of Robin and Boa Hancock was no less thorough. She felt at a disadvantage and glared at Locke, demanding an explanation. Seeing the three women staring each other down, Locke quickly stepped between them. Yamato, this is Robin, and this is Boa Hancock, the Empress of Amazon Lily. Robin was the third member to join my crew, and Boa Hancock is a very special friend. And this is Yamato, a powerful fighter who came with me from Wano country and is also a friend. Locke hastily introduced each of them, standing in the middle to prevent a potential brawl. Wano country. Robin and Boa Hancock were intrigued. Wasn't Wano country Kaido's territory? Robin asked. Locke, is that where you were during your disappearance? Yeah, I spent 3 years in Wano, so I was MIA, Locke admitted. And Yamato came with you from Wano? That means you've been together for 3 years. Robin pressed. That's right. But Yamato is Kaido's daughter, or son. Locke added. Kaido's daughter. This time, both Robin and Boa Hancock were surprised. No, I am not Kaido's son. I am Kazuki Oden, and I am a man. Yamato insisted. Oh, so you're a man. Boa Hancock said, her tone laced with sarcasm. Robin and Locke gave Yamato curious looks, prompting her to explain further. I only call myself a man when I'm out in public. But in front of Locke, I'm a woman. Yamato could sense the knowing looks in Robin and Boa Hancock's eyes. It felt like she was revealing too much. Okay, let's not overthink it, let's go to Amazon Lily first. Locke interjected. Finally, the man and 3 women boarded Locke's pirate ship and set sail for Amazon Lily. Gorgeous transition. Bang, 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 star, cannonballs rained down on the pirate ships ahead, as 6 Navy warships gave chase. Boom, 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 star, several pirate ships were struck, erupting in flames. Pirates were killed by the volleys. On a Navy ship, a man smoking a cigar watched the carnage unfold, his eyes cold. These vile pirates should all be wiped off the face of the earth. Akainu growled, his eyes burning with fury. Upon receiving Sengoku's order, Akainu had immediately set sail. Any pirate ship he encountered was instantly targeted and sunk. To him, pirates were the embodiment of evil, especially Locke. He longed to eradicate them all, but his power was limited. Watching the ships being destroyed, he decided it wasn't fast enough. He leapt into the air, his fist transforming into a magma dog's head. Dog Nip Red Lotus. The magma dog head hurtled toward the pirate ship, completely obliterating it. Boom, star, the ship exploded in a ball of flames. All the pirates on board perished under Akainu's attack, and the surrounding water boiled from the magma. Under Akainu's command, the remaining pirate ships were systematically destroyed, leaving no survivors. This was Akainu's brand of justice, extreme, unwavering, the actions of either a true believer or a madman. Chapter 79 Robin's Love, The Dry Land is Watered. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are those the pirates that hit the naval base up ahead? Aoki asked, eyeing the 4 pirate ships. Reporting to Admiral Akiji, pirates sighted ahead. A marine next to him announced. Akiji gathered a blast of cold air in his right arm, unleashing an ice bird. Ice Age. The ice bird shot toward a pirate ship, freezing everything in its path, even the sea itself. Boom, star, the ice bird slammed into the pirate ship, instantly encasing it and its crew in ice. They were frozen solid, like sculptures. Bang, 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 star, cannonballs ripped through the air, aimed at the remaining 3 ships. Each hit detonated in a fiery explosion. Decks splintered, pirates were thrown overboard, and flames engulfed the vessels. It wasn't long before Akiji and his forces had wiped out all 4 pirate ships. Meanwhile, elsewhere at sea, Yada no Kagami. Countless orbs of yellow energy rained down from the sky, each one targeting a group of pirate ships. Bang, 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 star, explosions erupted as the energy balls annihilated the ships, sending the pirates to a watery grave. Kizaru, now standing on a warship, surveyed the wreckage. Let's move out. During this operation, the three admirals managed to destroy a number of pirate ships that had attacked the naval stations, but Doflamingo hid the rest. He didn't want the navy to completely wipe them out, so he kept them safe. Chambord Archipelago, Rayleigh, a glass of wine at his side, studied the newspaper in his hand. Is he finally making his move? He wondered aloud. A glint appeared in his eyes. Beside him, Shaki, smoking a cigarette, chimed in, "That guy's probably got something big planned. But there's some news that hasn't gone public yet. Want to hear the inside scoop?" Rayleigh looked at Shaki. "Oh. What's the buzz?" Shaki took a drag from her cigarette. "It's about Fire Fist Ace." Rayleigh went silent, the news hitting him hard. Finally, he murmured under his breath, "Ace." Naval headquarters. Garp stood alone in Marineford's main square, looking troubled. "Why's my head in such a mess?" he muttered. Sengoku watched him from a distance, knowing this wasn't the time to tell Garp about Ace's capture. He feared Garp would lose control. "Garp," Sengoku said to Garp's back, "you're a hero of the Navy. I hope you'll make the right choice when the time comes. Amazon Lily Island. Is everything you're saying true?" Robin asked, looking at Locke. She'd been listening to his plan. Locke intended to form a kingdom, incorporating certain territories. "Yes, I'm planning to have Amazon Lily join my kingdom," Locke replied, looking at both Robin and Boa Hancock. "I'm in. I don't want anything to do with the Navy or the world government anymore," Boa Hancock stated after a moment's thought. "Great. Soon, the whole world will know, and I think some people will finally have their answer," Locke said. Night fell. The starry sky over Amazon Lily was breathtaking. The stars and moonlight created a magical ambience. In her room, Robin gazed at the night sky through her window, her eyes sparkling. A faint blush crept across her face as she seemed lost in thought. She turned and walked to the door, pushing it open. Robin then headed toward Locke's room. Knock, 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 star. Hearing the knock, Locke answered the door and found Robin standing there. "It's late. What brings you here?" Locke asked. "Let me come in, and I'll tell you," Robin said, stepping inside and walking over to the window, where she stared up at the night sky. A gentle breeze stirred, rustling her hair. Locke closed the door, walked to Robin, and asked, "What's wrong? Are you worried?" Robin turned to face him, her eyes filled with tenderness and her cheeks flushed. Standing on her tiptoes, Robin leaned in and kissed Locke. The breeze swirled around them as she awkwardly initiated the kiss, finally expressing her feelings through action. Locke, surprised, didn't hesitate to respond. Their passion ignited. Locke's hands began to caress Robin's body, and Robin responded in kind. The room filled with an electric energy. Robin, now kissing the man she'd been thinking about constantly for the past 3 years, was letting go of her pent-up emotions. Everyone has a breaking point, and Robin had been suppressing her feelings for Locke for too long. She could no longer hold back. Locke swept Robin into his arms and carried her to the bed. The next day, the sun shone brightly on the earth, bathing Amazon Lily in its golden light. Sunlight streamed into a room where two people lay intertwined on the bed, fast asleep. Robin nestled in Locke's arms, a look of pure happiness and contentment on her face. It was perhaps the most peaceful night's sleep she'd ever had. The sun warmed her face, and Robin stirred awake, letting out a soft sigh of contentment. She glanced at Locke, who was also awake. Their eyes met, filled with affection, and Locke leaned in for another kiss. He finally broke away when Robin was breathing heavily. They both got up to get dressed. As Robin caught a glimpse of Locke's blue dragon, her face flushed again. Sunlong Nidian*. The time had come to pierce through this darkness and bring light to the world. As Locke and Robin walked out together, they bumped into Boa Hancock. Boa Hancock eyed Robin's flushed cheeks. "Robin, why is your face so red?" Robin glanced at Boa Hancock, then replied, "Maybe I'm catching a cold. I'll just drink some water and I'll be fine." Boa Hancock, noticing the exchange between Robin and Locke, decided to drop the subject. "Locke, are you leaving today?" Locke confirmed, "Yeah, we're all setting sail together today." "Okay, then. I'll go get ready," Boa Hancock said, sounding cheerful. After Boa Hancock left, Robin's behavior from earlier replayed in her mind. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was different about her. It was as if she'd changed overnight, but she couldn't quite put her finger on it. It was the transformation of a girl into a woman. P.S. I didn't know how to write the spicy parts, so just imagine. Chapter 80 Black Arms Zefa, Straw Hat Pirates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. A pirate ship set sail from Nine Snake Island, carrying a crew of 4, 1 man and 3 women, *ding, star. System, daily sign-in, congratulations, host. Successfully signed in. Reward, a 5-piece dress set. Locke, clearly unimpressed, turned and headed for the cabin. He went straight to Robin's room and barged in without knocking. Robin was engrossed in a book. Seeing Locke, she set it down and stood. "What's up?" Locke strolled over and sat beside her, producing a necklace from behind his back. It was beautiful, like a pearl, with a blue gem at its center. "Here, this is for you," Locke said, handing her the necklace. Robin took it with a smile. "Thank you, it's gorgeous," she put it on, and it immediately enhanced her beauty. Locke then noticed the book on her desk, a paperback novel. He vaguely remembered putting it in the system space, then taking it out again. He must have tossed it aside, and she'd picked it up. He'd discarded it because it was a flop. Not many people had read it, and even its original fans had bailed. Locke felt a surge of empathy for the author, a newbie who was struggling. It was tough to get criticized, and he heard that this person had ended up working in a factory. "You left this on deck." "I picked it up," Robin said, noticing Locke staring at the book. "The first part is rough, but the second part is actually pretty good." "I'm guessing it's his first time writing." Locke glanced at the book and said, "Hey, even if it's not great, give him some support. Just click the last page to update it, and leave a 5-star review while you're at it." Robin nodded, understanding his implied request. She leaned forward, placing her hands on the table, back toward Locke, as he approached. Meanwhile, a warship flew a flag with an upside-down naval symbol and a skull pierced by a sword. A burly, purple-haired man stood on the deck. He was an imposing old man with black sunglasses and a massive iron arm. This was Zefa, formerly a powerful admiral in the world government's navy, known as Black Arm Zefa. Now, he was the commander-in-chief of the Neo Navy, with a goal to acquire Dwyane Rock and destroy the world. He was heading to the New World to find a breakthrough. Dwyane Rock, also known as primeval rock or explosive rock, was inert and harmless on its own. But when combined with oxygen, it triggered a devastating explosion, making it a unique world-destroying element. Ayn, with her long, flowing, ocean blue hair, wore a purple tank top, black shorts, black high heels, a blue cape, and an X-shaped scar on her right leg. "Teacher Zefa, it appears that Locke, who vanished 3 years ago, has resurfaced," Ayn announced. "Locke?" Zefa murmured. He'd heard of Locke, but it was irrelevant as long as Locke didn't interfere with his plans. "As long as he doesn't obstruct us, we can ignore him," Zefa said calmly. Ayn opened her mouth to speak, but glancing at Zefa's arm, she remained silent. "Teacher Zefa, we've spotted a pirate ship ahead," Binns reported. Zefa looked up and saw a ship with a lion's head figurehead. In the distance, a pirate ship bearing a straw hat and skull was approaching. "Move in and sink them," Zefa ordered grimly, on the Thousand Sunny. "Luffy, where are we headed this time?" Chopper asked. "I heard Uncle Rayleigh wants us to go to Nine Snake Island. He said he wanted us to meet the Empress," Luffy replied, scratching his chin. "Rayleigh said we should go to Nine Snake Island," Nami corrected. "He wants us to tell the Empress that he sent us to train there." "Training on Nine Snake Island?" Sanji exclaimed, lighting a cigarette. "Rayleigh said the world is about to change drastically, and we need to get stronger." Usopp added, Luffy and the others had met Rayleigh on the Sabaody archipelago, and he had directed them to Kuja Island, warning them of the impending global changes. Bang. Bang. Bang, cannonballs rained down, throwing up geysers of seawater, some of which splashed onto the sunny. What? What's happening? Usopp cried, panicking. We're under attack. Luffy, bounce the cannonballs back. Nami shouted. Luffy jumped up, inflating his stomach, and swallowed several projectiles, which he then ricocheted back. A warship appeared. Ain and Bins leapt onto the sunny. Zoro, Sanji, Luffy, and the others tensed, wary of the uninvited guests. Suddenly, the lawn on the sunny began to grow uncontrollably, and the plants lashed out. One sword style, evil harbor bird. Zoro swiftly drew his sword and unleashed a wave of energy, slicing through the plants. Bang. 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 Ain drew her sword and charged at Zoro. Clang. Their blades clashed. Zoro, eyeing the female swordsman, instantly deployed his other two swords. Two sword style, two cuts, flash. Zoro launched a horizontal slash. Ain quickly parried, retreating. Clang. A peach-colored flame, like a will-o'-the-wisp, emanated from Ain's hand. The flame had no heat or attack power, but was used to activate her devil fruit power. She rushed toward Nami, who stood on the side. Just as she was about to reach her, a figure intervened. Skewers. Sanji dove in, aiming a foot at Ain and spinning like a drill to attack. Boom. Ain was forced to block Sanji's kick with her blade. Sanji kicked Ain's knife mid-air and Ain blocked Sanji's foot with her knife from below. Ain and Bin stood side by side, frowning at Luffy and his crew. The Straw Hat Pirates had grown stronger due to Locke's influence. Garp had taught Luffy how to use Haki, which Luffy had shared with Zoro and the others. Although their mastery was imperfect, they could now use armament Haki after 3 years of training. A man leaped from the warship. Ain, Bins, what's going on? It's been ages, and you still haven't dealt with these pirates. Zefa growled as he appeared behind them.